Hello, I'm Bill Laberis, Editorial Director of the Enterprise CIO Forum. And I'm joined here today by John Gallant, and we're going to be talking about IT agility. Now, John is Chief Content Officer at IDG Enterprise, and as such, he helps to oversee the content that you get on the publications and the websites of CIO, Computer World, Network World, Info World, and several others. John, thanks for joining us today.
Bill, it's a pleasure to be here.
Now, John, we hear a lot these days about the concept of IT agility. Are we hearing a lot of hype, or is this something that the CIO should really stand up and take some notice of?
Well, the concept of IT agility is really a new name for an old and very persistent idea, which is that IT needs to be the enabler and the driver of change within a business organization. But it has taken on increased urgency these days because of the increased business pressures that most organizations are under. Organizations are under the pressure to deliver new products and services more rapidly, to respond to customer needs and issues more rapidly, and to deal with changing business issues more rapidly than they have been able to in the past. IT needs to be able to support that, and thus IT agility is incredibly important today.
Okay, so support and enable new businesses and new opportunities, new revenue opportunities. What is standing in the way of agility these days, or of companies and IT departments becoming more agile?
Well, I think the simple answer is that IT is just too rigid. IT is too rigid in the way that it builds infrastructure. IT is too rigid in the way it rolls out applications. It simply takes too long to do most of the things that IT has to do to support new business processes, to secure business, to comply with new regulations, to roll out new applications. All of this takes too long because the infrastructure is too rigid, we're dealing with legacy applications, and things simply cost too much and are too difficult to secure and manage.
Okay, so a lot of old stuff there, and is rigid, and it's almost like the anti-agility infrastructure that we have in many cases.
Yes, exactly.
So, okay, if we look out now, let's say 2 full years from where we are right now in 2011, let's look out into 2013. What's different about IT? Are we in fact a lot more agile? What has happened in the next 2 years?
Well, I actually think you're starting to see the leading edge of some IT organizations become much more agile. But for many organizations, they're really getting to a crisis point because the business is moving so much more quickly, and IT budgets and IT flexibility are just not keeping up. So over the next couple of years, we're going to need to see IT organizations really take a step back, look at the way they're building infrastructure, look at the way they're deploying applications, and really change how they deal with the business. I think as you get out closer to 2013, farther out into this decade, we'll start to see IT organizations that look much more like service brokers who work with the business side to determine what is the best way to deliver the capabilities that the business needs. Some of that might be internal, offered through your private cloud, for example. Some of it may be external, where you work with external providers to bring these capabilities in more quickly, more cost effectively.
So that's a lot of change in IT service delivery, which actually is going to be the subject of one of our subsequent videos with you. Well, John Gallant, Chief Content Officer at IDG Enterprise, thanks very much for joining us.
Bill, it was a pleasure.